Are you ready for episode 2?
Welcome back. We are now at week 2, 51 weeks until the Royal Couser wedding.
So exciting! And this week, we are going to take you behind the scenes of our royal engagement shoot. For those of you who have seen the pictures, it's a little over the top. But we wanna explain the method behind the madness. First of all, I know that in the last video we covered royalty and why we chose that theme. In this video, we want to delve deeper.
We knew it meant a lot of things to us. We knew that we were attempting to bring a new definition to the term itself. So when it came time to put this idea into actual visual execution, there was some intimidation for sure, and a lot of conversation.
So our first question going into the royal engagement shoot was, what is royalty? We always think of kings and queens with crowns and puffy dresses, very English European, but we felt that that was the tip of the iceberg into the cultural royalty, because Jarrett and I, we did our 23andMe and found out all of our cultural background.
Both of us were high percentage African, and we wanted to kind of see if we could find pieces from our actual heritage and incorporate that as well.
Once we had envisioned all these looks, so we did a vision board of looks, styles. We were looking all over the internet, like just to get inspiration, Pinterest boards, Instagrams, understanding not only what an engagement shoot would look like with the poses and all that stuff, but also what these cultures provided in terms of what their wedding looks look like.
And me, being the ambitious one, I was like, let's do 10 looks. We're gonna have, all these different themes. We're gonna literally pick one from every different part of royalty for the vision board. We found out later that wasn't too practical, financially and time-wise. Our first decision was, who's gonna shoot this thing? We thought about it and said, it still needs to feel like us. It still needs to be urban and cool and edgy to very royal and sophisticated garments. And we thought of Chuck. Chuck Wolf is one of the coolest, most artistic photographers out there. He's New York based, a really great friend and cool guy. And we knew bringing him into the project would really help us to bring a dichotomy or draw really cool parallels between the royalty that we are hoping it to be and the urban, cool, and hip people that we currently are.
So when Jarrett showed me Chuck's work, I immediately saw the potential, because not only are we upper crust and fancy, but we're hood too. We're from the streets. We get it popping.
I was afraid, to be honest, because I often don't show my fear, but I'm afraid most of the time. To come to jail and say, hey, you want to do these like really cool, beautiful royal gowns? Let's shoot it in these edgy environments with this like high contrast and gritty environments. And
little did Jarrett know that I was like, oh, hell yeah.
She was about that life.
I am totally about that.
And when I reached out to Chuck, he was like, let's go.
So the next thing that we did, we tried to think about where we wanted to have this shoot happen. Jarrett and I, we wanted to keep it true to who we are, what we do, where we come from. And so I'm from New York.
And I'm from Philly.
Obviously.
It's a rough day today, but we're going to be all right.
It's all right. So we decided that we needed both cities in order to make this happen.
And to tell the story of our relationship, we have to start where we started, our origin stories as well.
Here are the places that we decided on. In New York, we decided the place that we met, Tonic East. We also decided that we needed to have the place where Jarrett proposed, which is Locksmith Bar. And of course, me growing up, just something that is personal to me is Dyckman. I grew up there. My grandmother still lives there for 30-something years.
We've also lived in Harlem, New York now for a very long time, so it was important to capture Harlem as well, because being here has become a part of who we are as well. And Philly, it was really important not only to go to some of the staple places downtown, like the Philadelphia Art Museum that I've been to as a kid, always seeing great art and sculpture be showcased there, but it was important to also bring myself and my relationship there and make art ourselves. Also, to go to Love Park, which is a very touristy place that no one from Philly actually ever goes to. But it was cool to actually go for the first time and actually be able to be a tourist and capture some really cool images there. And last but certainly not least, it was important to capture the Philly staple food, cheesesteaks, in my neighborhood, which is Mount Airy Ogons, at our cheesesteak place, Pagano's.
Once we decided the places, we had to decide what the heck are we gonna wear. We had all these ideas from the vision board, but of course we had a lot of factors to think about, including timing, including budget, which was a huge detail, and our resources. So we started sourcing all these costumes, and
it was really cool to start looking through New York City options and going to places and actually trying things on. We realized early on that the Halloween costume was not what we were going for. The traditional costume is really cool when you're 10 or 11 years old, or you plan on getting drunk and never wearing it again. But if you were going to capture photos that you would hope to live in infamy, you needed to go a step higher up in quality.
Because at the end of the day, we wanted to look really fucking boss.
And for context, we had some ideas that were like all the way through to Mongolian era, Genghis Khan-esque, and then the more risque options like the Cleopatra or Pharaoh looks of Egypt. So we knew we needed to go somewhere in the middle.
Another place that we looked at is in our own neighborhood in Harlem. We have an amazing African market near us, and we definitely wanted to honor our African ancestors with a royal African outfit.
So the African market in Harlem offered us a great opportunity to execute the African royalty look. We talked about what color we wanted to be for African, and purple was like the first thing. Not only do we love purple as a color, but it definitely signifies royalty in a lot of different African cultures. So we wanted whatever we got in the African look to be purple, and we couldn't be happier about how that turned out.
It was difficult because we wanted authenticity. And that's where Jarrett's friend Amara came in.
And I cannot thank Amara and her family enough. Amara's a great friend of mine. We've been friends for well over 10 years. And she volunteered the services of not just herself, but also her family. This rich history of her and her family to support women and men who are getting married. And they had tons of different, so many different options they laid out for us. We actually went to Amara, shout out to Mama Khan. Love you, Mama Khan. We went to her home and she invited us in. She cooked for us and she showed us all this amazing Pakistani wedding garments that she had, from full-on dubettas all the way through to, she even had a full male suit for me. All I needed was to add a vest. So it was a really cool experience to be in someone's home and really embrace their culture and what royalty and king and queen and bride and groom means to them. And it just looked beautiful. Actually, right behind us is a little teaser to that look. See it? It's a little blurry, right?
We thank Amara and her family for the authentic Pakistani wedding garb that she allowed us to borrow and respectfully represent her culture. And we hope that we did you guys justice.
So, in looking at some places in New York City, we luckily found an amazing execution for the Victorian look at Abracadabra. Shout out to Abracadabra and their staff. They were amazing to help us and show us different looks. Their price was pretty affordable, a little bit higher obviously than the $20 costume you would buy for Halloween, but we were able to find something that was truly authentic to Victorian look and really made us feel comfortable in executing that well.
It's happening. Engagement shoot is happening.
This is it, my boy.
Just a little sneak peek. It has been such a great process. I'm having so much fun. Look at me. I'm thriving. Woo! Now that we had the costumes, we knew where the location was, we had a photographer, it was time to get busy. So we got our Victorian look from Abracadabra. We got our African look from the African Market on 116. And then we got our Pakistani wedding garb from a very close friend, Amara. And we were ready to go. And how we were gonna do it, we were still kind of like, all right, we're gonna do it. It's a lot to take on, but we're gonna do it. Started off with our Victorian looks at the Philadelphia Art Museum on the Rocky Steps. That was so epic. There was people even stopping us on the street wanting to take pictures of the king and queen of Philadelphia. And we were happy to do it because guess what? We were king and queen that day. We even snuck into a trolley. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was a trolley that does the tours to the penitentiary.
Either way, it was like all wooden inside. It was a beautiful, beautiful look for our looks that we were trying to achieve.
God was shining down on us on that day. It was a beautiful day to shoot. The sun and the clouds were away. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It was just we couldn't have asked for better weather, a happier crew to be involved and inspired. And then, everywhere we went, people really embraced us and loved what we were doing and how extra it was. And it just made it so much more meaningful to us. So thank you all.
And then we went to Love Park. At Love Park, we were in our Pakistani garb. It was really fun. We really got to play coy and, relive the proposal as Jarrett got down on one knee in front of the love sign. I love that. It was just so pure and genuine. And everyone enjoyed it. Everyone loved seeing us fully decked out in wedding garb.
After we did Love Park, we went back to the hotel to change into another look to head to the second part of Philly. And on the way, we actually stumbled upon a really cool corner in Philly on Mott Street where we found some beautiful flowers and just a really cool background. And we shot some awesome photos, unplanned, but turned out to be very beautiful and adding some cool dynamics to it. So then we went to Pagano's, where we filmed our last shoot in Philly on our way back to New York City. Filmed the last shot of the day in our African look, so we were able to execute all three in Philly. And it was really cool to be in Pagano's and to munch into a cheesesteak and this beautiful royal purple African looks. And the staff was really happy to have us, and it was just a great moment. And to the wrap Philly, it was nothing but love and great energy, and the city again really embraced us, and everyone in Philly helped us. Thank you again.
Where they having the chicken? Hey, goals.
And then we drove to New York. And that was when we had the second half of our shoot. Our first stop was at Tonic East, where we shot outside. These beautiful shots. Our photographer got on the floor, to get these shots of us.
Tonic East, why we shot there and why we chose that to be first is, again, that is where we met. So it was really important for us to go back to where we met, shoot some cool photos there. We didn't try to go inside Tonic East because time was not on our side. It was now 4:30 in the afternoon. You're going to start losing light soon, so we wanted to start wrapping that up, so we filmed at Tonic East, and then we moved on to our next location.
Oh, knew y'all would have liked that one.
Yeah. It started raining, so we were a little bit upset. However, we still went to our friend Amara and Neil's apartment. They let us come to their building and shoot at their roof. However, it was pouring. It was absolutely crazy. But I'm not mad at how that looked either.
No, it looks pretty cool in the end, so.
And then we took it uptown, back home to Harlem. We shot in front of the Apollo, and that was special because we got to incorporate our boy Harley, the royal Frenchie.
New Instagram handle coming soon.
And that was amazing because African wear in the middle of Harlem, especially the way that we were dressed, was looked at. It was royal. People came up to us and told us how inspired they were to wear more African garb. After Harlem, we got back into our Victorian look.
Yep.
And we went to Dykeman.
Yep.
We shot in front of the liquor store, the bodega owner that I know. Like we bought some beers and drank it inside of the bodega. Shh, don't tell anybody. And then we headed to Locksmith, where we got engaged, where Jarrett proposed, and
shout out to Oscar for coming outside, and as well as Q and Hassan, and actually joined us for a final shot. For us, and wanting to do this, like a juxtaposition of like royal looks and also some grittiness, it ended up having some of the better photos that came into the later parts of the shoot. When we looked like we were over this shit, it came out really good. But again, I would err on the side of caution, in retrospect, and divide the shoot into maybe 2 8-hour shoots or 2 6-hour shoots in order to really, have a good time overall.
after a long day of shooting, we are in the CVS.
Some real stuff, yeah. King is dead. We couldn't be happier with how it came out. It was very ambitious. It was very risky, but in the end, it turned out beautiful.
Thank you so much, Chuck, Cito, Janelle, Brittany, Jarrett's mom, my mom who came out, Carlene was there too,
Abracadabra, 116th Street, African Market, check it out. 125th Street, African store as well. Shout out to the lady on 123rd Street who created our hats on the spot from scratch on 123rd Street. Shout out to you.
That wraps up our first engagement shoot. But there is a second engagement shoot, y'all. I told you, we never do nothing nice and easy. All right, guys. Thank you so much from your urban royals for watching this YouTube video of our journey to the Royal Cousers. Subscribe, like, and watch our next one.
Yay, see you soon.
Okay, ciao.